get you some. Oh, yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow! G'day, lovelies. Welcome back. Alrighty, tonight we're doing the crunchy cornflake rock cakes. First thing we want to do is preheat our ovens to 180 degrees Celsius. We need at least one baking tray with baking paper. I will write the recipe below as always. So first we need 1 3/4 cups of plain flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'll put the 1 cup of flour in first, then I'll put the 2 teaspoons of baking powder in next, then I'll put the other 3/4 cup of plain flour in. That way when we sift it, the baking powder doesn't get stuck to the tin thing, it goes straight through with everything. Once we've done that, we want to get 110 grams of butter chopped. We want to stick it in there, and then with our fingertips we want to squeeze it all into the flour. Once we've done that, our flour will look like that. Alright, we set that aside for a minute. Into a bowl we want to put 1/4 cup of milk, 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then with a fork we just want to whisk it up. Alright, once we've done that, set it aside for a second. Now we need to get 1/2 cup of caster sugar ready. Today I'm using mixed spice. Now if you don't like it, you don't have to put it in. Okay, we need 1 cup of cornflakes. And we need 1 cup of whatever you want. So when I say whatever you want, I'm talking about dried fruits, chopped up chocolate and nuts. Okay, so whatever you want to put in there to go to 1 cup. So I get my cup measurement out, and today I've run out of sultanas, so I'm using dates. So I've cut them up nice and thin, and I've started filling up my 1 cup measurement. Then I've put flaked almonds in there because that's all I've got. Now if I had walnuts, I would have chopped them up and put it in there. So the rule is you want to cut your fruit to the rough size of sultanas, and same with your chocolate and your nuts, okay? You want it all reasonably small. If you don't want to use any fruit, nut or chocolate at all, you put another cup of cornflakes in. If you only want to say put a little bit of nuts through it, you can put 1/2 of that cup as cornflakes and 1/2 of that cup as nuts. If you only want chocolate, you can put all chocolate through, or you know what I mean, you can mix it around as whatever you want, as long as there's at least 1 cup of cornflakes and then 1 cup of anything you want. And then we just need a little bit of extra caster sugar just to sprinkle over the top, which is also an option. So sprinkle 1/2 teaspoon of mixed spice if you want to, it's optional. Our 1/2 cup of caster sugar, our 1 cup of cornflakes, our 1 cup of whatever we wanted to put in there. And now we just mix it all through really well and try and get it all even. Cranberries with white chocolate and almonds are also beautiful at Christmas time. You can even do the glaced cherries, like you can chop them up really small and do like 1/4 cup of glaced cherries with 1/4 cup of cranberries and 1/4 cup of nuts and 1/4 cup of white chocolate. Alrighty, once we've got that all mixed through, we now want to get our egg mix, pour that in, and now we want to mix all that through. Once we've done that and all our dry ingredients are wet, we now want to grab our baking tray with the baking paper, a tablespoon measurement and a teaspoon. So we now want to get heaped tablespoonfuls of mixture like that. Grab our spoon and dig it out and just leave it in the little pile that it goes in, and keep them spread apart. Once our first lot's on and ready to go, we want to get our caster sugar and sprinkle it over the top. This is optional as well, you don't have to if you don't want to. As soon as our oven's up to temperature, bang them in there. Oh my god, it smells amazing in here. 18 minutes later in my plain electric oven. Oh yeah, baby. So if you've got a cooling rack, put them on the cooling rack. If you don't, just slide them off like this onto the bench. And keep on baking. Alright, as they start to cool down, they get hard enough to be able to move them onto the thing. Now if you don't have the cooling rack, you want to leave them sit on there like that for 10 minutes. And in exactly 10 minutes time, you just want to turn them all over. And that way the bottoms will not go soggy. These ones aren't as bad as the other ones because there's not quite as much butter in them. but they still will go soggy. So after 10 minutes, just flip them up until they've cooled down completely. So I'll just crack one of these open to show you. Let's make sure I'm in the right place first. Alright, so as you can see, they're more crunchier. They're just, oh, they taste amazing, and they're just different again to the other ones. So if you love a crunchy biscuit, this is definitely the one for you. So we store them the same way, in an airtight container or a tin at room temperature. Now tomorrow, I don't care how windy it is, I'm going down to the river anyway. So once all the thunderstorms stop, we've had nothing but wind, and I mean wind, ever since. So I'm going to go down in the morning. If it's really windy, I'll just have to take a heap of different photos everywhere and put it all together as a video that way. If I can get a break in the wind, I'll go into a nice quiet spot somewhere and do a live show, because I know they're all sandbagging like full on at the moment, and there's people everywhere, and I do not want to get in their way. So either way, we're going to do a little live, or I'm going to do a heap of photos, or both. I will put whatever video that I've done on Aussie Girl onto the community page so you can find it easy. Have a lovely night, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodles.